Hello guys and welcome back to my channel ManojWeb, where my goal is to make your front-end life easier. In today's video, we're going to be having a look at the .toggle JavaScript method. So this is the .toggle method. That's what we're going to be learning today and how you can use that in your front-end life. So let's get started. So as you can see here, I have a basic page. It just says impossible challenge, where your goal is to hover over the red button. Each of them has a class of the color. So this is red. This is when you hover over it, the before will have the content. Just give up or you actually did it. So this says just give up, and this will say you actually did it and change the color. So what we want to do is make this actually impossible, since that's the whole challenge. So in order to do that, there's a few ways we could do that, but the method we're going to use involves using the .toggle method, and we're going to learn how to do that. So there's a handy little property of display flex which you can use, which is called a flex direction. And if you add a row reverse to it, guess what it does? It reverses the order of all the properties. You can also do column reverse. That would reverse the columns. If I were to remove the reverse, it'll be like this. But since we have it in row right now, let's make it row reverse. So that's what the row reverse value does. But when we remove it, it goes back to normal. So that's what we're going to be using to make this impossible. So what we want to do is when the user hovers over the red, we want to add that property into the whole container, the color container, and reverse the whole order. So now they're hovering on gray instead, and red will be all the way over here. And now when they go back to hover on red, it will switch around again, and the red will be all the way over here again. So they cannot hover over red at all. The toggle method is what's going to help us do that. So before we begin, we need a class of .reverse, let's say, which is going to have that row reverse. But we're going to be adding that class onto the color container when they hover, and when they hover again, it's going to be removed automatically. So we need to get access to the color container first of all. Camel case document.query selector of type color container class. If I were to console.log that, as you can see, I should get the div right here. Yep, color container and all the colors within. Let's move that out of the way. And we also need to get access to the red button. So let's do red btn host document.query selector of .red, because that's the class it has. And now if I were to console.log that, console.log red btn. As you can see, I get the button with the class of red. So what we're going to do is add a hover effect. I had an event listener type hover, so add event listener on the red button. So when the mouse is over it, because there's no hover, so mouse over. So when the mouse is over the red button, we want this function to run. And in this function, we want the color container, and we want to access the class list of the color container. So what the class list is just an object of all the classes on that element. So if I were to console.log that, console.log, also let me fix that typo I just found. It's not mouse over. So color container dot class list. If I were to do that, as soon as I hover over the red, you can see all the classes as an object within that. That's what it's going to be printed. That's what the class list is. So that class list has a handy little method called .toggle, which is what we're learning about today. Color container dot class list. So this toggle will switch between if this property is on that element, it's gonna remove it. If it's not on the element, it's gonna add it. So it's basically using if conditions, but we don't have to write this condition. So I can add the reverse uh, class when it doesn't have it, and remove it when it does. So now if I hover over it, as you see, red just moves to that side. So it's pretty much impossible to get it, because you can't really get there anytime unless you do like this, which is you won't even notice it pretty much. So it just reverses the whole flow. Right now the reverse class is added onto it, and when I hover over it again, it's removed. Let's have a look as well. Let's do console.log color container, right? Now if I were to hover over this, as you can see, this is color container, has a reverse class as well. Hover over it again, the new one doesn't have it. Hover over it, it has it, it doesn't have it. And that right there is a toggle property. It switches switches on and off the class that you give it. So I hope you learned something new. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button, and see you next time.